Hey there, Rick Sage, recording at the Rimrock Studios in Bishop, California. Welcome to Season 2 of the Outdoor Biz Podcast, where I speak with retailers, brand managers, athletes, executives, and others in the outdoor biz and share their stories, tips, advice, productivity tricks, and ideas you can use to take your career or business to the next level. Today's episode is brought to you in part by the Something About Nothing podcast. Think the Seinfeld show meets your favorite morning show. It's a few regular folks from outside Seattle, Washington, talking around the table about sports, the news of the day, and the absurdity of life. Something About Nothing is an entertaining variety show that covers all the stuff you want to talk about but aren't supposed to. Available wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify. Check it out today. Just search SOMETHIN about NOTHIN. You won't believe how fun listening to a show about nothing can be. Today I'm speaking with Seth Blackamore. Seth is a fly fisherman, author, and photographer based here in Bishop, California. He's been fly fishing his entire life. In 2016, he co-authored Fishing Trails 2 with Jared Smith. This is a preeminent guide to backcountry fishing in the Eastern Sierra. We talk about fishing, his love for the outdoors, and more. Enjoy. Seth, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Rick. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, good to chat with you. How's it going?
Oh, great. Just down in sunny Orange County, California right now.
Nice.
Escaping a little bit of the tail part of the winter up in the Sierras, so everything's been good.
Yeah, the fishing up here is pretty blown out right now. It's not not happening.
Yeah, no, those flows are starting up, so the rivers are pretty blown out.
Yeah. We'll take it when it comes, whatever. So you're quite the outdoorsman. You were played football in high school and college, and then you got into fishing and outdoor stuff. What was your first exposure to the outdoors?
Before sports, it's always been the outdoors.
Okay.
And, man, I grew up, both my parents just loved the outdoors, had a passion for it. Camping, fishing, hiking, campfires, s'mores, desert, mountains, you name it, man. And so I have many, many fond memories at an early age of the outdoors.
Very cool. And so that's how you got developed your passion for fishing?
Yeah. A lot of people ask me, because a lot of people know me as Seth, the athlete.
Right.
And they think, oh, wow, you just got into fishing. You just got into the outdoors. And no, I reverted back to, the outdoors once my football career was over.
Right. And where did you catch your first fish? Do you remember that?
Oh, geez, man. I have a couple photos, when I was in diapers.
Right.
But one of them was actually in Missouri. My mom had family in Missouri, so there's a photo of me and my mom. I had to have been just 3 years old, 2 years old, probably.
Nice. That's
with
fun.
a little catfish.
Right. Very cool. Yeah. And you fished salt and freshwater all over the place. What's your favorite?
Oh, geez, that's another tough question, Rick. I grew up down here next to the ocean, so the ocean has a big part of my heart.
Yep.
I have to get my fix. I have to always come down and get my salt fix. So that's huge. But, you can't beat the backcountry of the Sierras and the Alpine Lakes and chasing golden trout and just the overall experience that kind of stadium provides back there.
Right. Somebody asked me the other day where my favorite places to take photos. And I said, it's kind of wherever I am taking photos. It's such a great big world out there. It's awesome everywhere. So.
Yeah, very unique. There's a lot of different awesome places.
Yeah, yeah. And you've become quite the photographer and videographer. How did you get into that?
I've always done photos, not very good ones, but
well, we all have to learn somewhere.
It kind of started when, because in high school, I was one of the last, generations to go through high school without cell phones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nowadays these kids got it so dang easy, but back when I was going through high school, you'd tell your stories. You'd come into class and tell your buddies stories, and they'd be like, "Okay, cool, yeah, right, man."
Yeah, they wouldn't believe you. No evidence. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I'm doing these rad things, man. I need to I can prove it. So I went out and got a camera, and that's how I started photography.
Okay.
And so that was just to prove it.
Right. And let's see, when I met you, you were mostly focused on your GoPro, I think. And since then, you've got a DSLR as well, right?
Yeah, I do both now.
Yeah.
But, back when we met, we started, that GoPro was just so versatile and easy.
Yeah, they were everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I'm still evolving. I got so much to learn, and it's nice meeting great photographers like yourself and other photographers like Bob Bowman and stuff that really cut that learning curve for us newbies. But
it's an evolving activity, boy. It changes almost daily. The electronics and stuff. Yeah. So what are you shooting with these days?
I just have a Canon 70D.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's nice. It gets the job done.
Yeah.
Probably spent a little bit too much money on it, but
yeah, that's always the way it is, right? I'm going to go with this model, but look at that. It's only so much more money, and you just spend it. Whatever.
Oh, man. Way in over my head with all that stuff.
Right. And you were just recently in a video that Electric Fishing produced, right? Where did you guys shoot that? In a number of different places, or one spot?
Yeah. Electric sunglasses. They're
Electric sunglasses.
Yeah. They're from Southern California, San Clemente, and they just kind of started a new fishing side of the department, and
cool.
So they brought their dudes up, and we spent 3-4 days bumming around the Sierras and fishing, Lower Owens and some different spots.
Nice.
And just had a blast, kind of getting to know each other and sharing that time on the water, just talking about life and fishing and stuff. And so, that came out a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay, cool. Is there can we link to that in the show notes somewhere?
Yeah. I'll send that link over to you.
That'd be great. Yeah, cool. Yeah. And I remember you took me the first time we went out. We hiked up to it's a secret lake in the Sierra, but there were some huge fish in that lake. You remember that? It was cold that day.
Oh my gosh,
man!
5 casts and then you're breaking the ice off your guys.
Right. And I'm out there in the lake in a dry suit with my underwater Aquatech housing, trying to capture cool shots of the fish you guys were catching. That was freezing.
Yeah, you're nuts, man.
It was fun though. It was a great day. Yeah. We were with Greg from Sierra Nets.
Yeah. That was a great trip, man.
That was a great trip. Yeah, he was on the show a few episodes ago. Yeah.
Right.
And so the last couple summers, or I forget how many summers, you've been working up at Parchers, up the Bishop South Lake up in Bishop Creek, and you and Jared launched in 2016. You launched Fishin' Trails 2, one of the great, best backcountry fishing books I think around. How has that been received?
Oh well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
No, you guys documented it really, really well. Yeah, good job.
We had a lot of fun doing it. We had a lot of amazing, talented photographers and like yourself be a part of it and help us with stuff that we couldn't do.
Yeah.
So it was just amazing to collaborate with a lot of unique people and the friendships that have kind of blossomed because of that work and stuff. Here we are today.
Yeah, we'll link to that in the show notes too.
And but yeah, I think overall it's done pretty well. This is my first time launching a book
cool.
like this.
Yeah.
So it's been a rad, wild ride.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. And tell us about some of your mentors and how they've helped you along the way, either fishing or photography or life, football. I'm sure you had some great coaches.
Mentors, man, are huge, and that's something I really encourage to the youth. The guy that got me into fly fishing, Doug Itsumatsu. So, I've always been into fishing. So here I am I'm like 9-10 years old, and I look across the street and there's this guy on his grass on his front yard casting this long stick with this, line on it, colored line. And I'm just, I'm outside shooting hoops in my front yard, playing some basketball, and I just got curious, and I was like, dude, what are you doing, man? What is this?
Right.
And Next thing you know, I got the fly rod in my hand.
Wow.
He's showing me, disciplined teaching of casting. And next thing I know, I'm sitting in his office tying flies after school.
Cool.
A couple times a week. 10 years old. Who does that? Especially in Orange County.
Right.
Next thing I know, we're fishing together. We're float tube fishing at this little bass lake in Orange County, and we're catching bass, largemouth bass. And that was the first time I ever caught a fish on the fly rod.
Wow, cool.
And, through the years, he would always encourage me, hey, you might not be catching a lot of fish right now, but if you stick with this disciplined sport, eventually, people will be asking you how to do it. And I was like, okay. So I just kept going to the Sierras with my family. I kept going around town bass fishing, and I always brought the fly rod. And I was getting my butt kicked by all my buddies. They're catching way more fish than me,
Without fly rods.
Yeah, conventional fishing. And right. I just remembered his advice. Stick with it. And I did. And, luckily the sport is pretty expensive, all the gear to get into.
It can be, yeah.
And, without this guy's help, he was giving me rods, reels, line, showing me all the different knots and intricacies of the sport. Without that type of mentorship and that type of teaching, man, I don't know had I would have ever gotten into fly fishing. So, that guy was an amazing, he's an amazing friend and an amazing mentor to me.
That's awesome.
But in everything, mentors are huge. I had a handful of mentors I could talk to you all day about with football and different parts of life and in the church and stuff like that. So,
and how many
days?
Very
appreciative.
How many days a year do you fish? You fish like 365, don't you? Almost.
Oh, geez, I wish. You know what? No, I gotta have balance. I gotta take a break from it sometimes, man.
Yeah.
I'm down here in Orange County, and I just came off of like a 2-week fishing every day trip.
Wow.
Up in the Sierras and up north outside of Reno and stuff. And so I come down here in town and hit some of my buddies up, and what do they want to do? Go fish. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
No, man, I need a break.
Yeah.
But I fish a lot. I'm very blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah. Were you up at Pyramid Lake outside of Reno?
I was.
Yeah.
I was.
How was that this year?
Oh, man, that's been a pain in my butt this year.
Really?
Last year I just had some amazing days up there.
Mm-hmm.
And, days that you just dream about as an angler.
Yeah. And
you sit all off season just reminiscing and thinking about the next season ahead.
Right.
And, geez, it's some of my worst fishing, man. I just question some days I'm out there if I know how to do it.
Really? Wow. The fish just weren't around or what?
That's fishing though, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why they call it fishing, not catching.
Yeah, I was very humbled by the last couple of weeks up there.
Wow, that's tough. And we've all been there, though, right? I mean, I've had weeks where I haven't caught fish. It's just like, oh my God, what has gone on here? But it all comes back. It circles back around.
That's it, man.
Yeah. So tell us about do you work with any nonprofits?
No. I do most of my work. Volunteer work though is with missions programs.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Especially with Orange Lutheran High School down here in Orange County.
Okay. Yeah.
They have that's school I went to back in the day, and gosh, they have an amazing missions program that travels all around the world.
Oh wow.
And doing missions work. I've gone in Eastern Europe, and last Thanksgiving back to Appalachia, Kentucky. They
cool.
come to Bishop twice a year.
Oh.
And they just whatever needs to be done in the community. Mm-hmm. They're fully funded, and they take no tuition money from the private school that they're at. Yeah,
that's great. Well, we'll put a link to them in the show notes too. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Great, man. So that's amazing work and amazing to be a part of something like that and just paying it forward.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Have you been able to incorporate fly fishing with those guys?
No.
No? Interesting.
No.
Yeah.
No. They always visit during non-fishing season in the Sierras, so.
Gotcha.
Or when it's, about to snow. So.
Yeah. And what other outdoor activities do you participate in? Do you I know you hike to get to the backcountry to fish, but you ski, you hike, you climb, mountain bike?
You know what? The most popular question I get when people ask me about living in the Sierras is, "Oh, do you snowboard? Do you ski?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you got long hair. You gotta be a snowboarder, right? I'm like, no, and I stay off that damn mountain. I want nothing to do with it. I've had 3 reconstructive knee surgeries on one knee.
No, yeah, I've been there
with football, so
yep.
I'm cool walking, fishing, low impact.
Yeah.
But no, I do a lot of sports, a lot of activities, dirt bike riding. The Sierras are a great place to ride your bike around there.
Yeah.
It's easy getting buddies to come up and do that. And spear fishing, free diving down here in Orange County. We grew up doing that. So that's just, I got to come down like this week and get my fix.
Cool.
Get in the water a little bit.
Yeah, cool. That's good.
But always staying active, man, in some way.
Staying outside. Yeah.
I still love chucking the football around. Pigskin.
It's funny, those of us, I've had a bunch of knee surgeries too, and people ask me, do you regret it? It's like, you know what? I would go back and do it all over again. It just, don't know what it is. It's addicting, I guess.
100%, man. Yeah, and I got numerous people nowadays, concussions and football is a big debate that I don't even want to get into, but they asked me about my injuries and stuff, and would you let your kids play? And I said 100%. I would do it all over again, and I would totally encourage my kids to play.
Yeah.
It's the team, the camaraderie, the atmosphere, the life lessons the sport teaches you. The friends for life. Yeah,
totally agree. Yep. It really teaches you how to work together as a team and support one another. And you're right on there. Yeah. Do you have any suggestions or advice for folks wanting to get into the fishing biz or the outdoor biz or grow their career, kind of follow in your footsteps?
Oh, don't do it, man. Don't do it.
That's not the answer I was looking for.
No, I'm kidding. One of my favorite quotes is, and this is, I heard this years and years ago, and it's always stuck with me. And it's, let's see, what is it? Let's see if I can remember it. Don't ask yourself what this world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that.
I like it,
because that's what this world needs, are people who have come alive.
That's awesome.
And, I think if there's people out there that are interested in pursuing the outdoor biz, I'd say, follow your passions and pursue your passions, and money will follow.
Yep.
So I got into fishing because I love fishing.
Right.
I started writing articles and doing photos just for myself about fishing. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, one day some people started saying, "Hey, why don't you write me an article about this?" Mm-hmm. Boom. Next thing that I know, it was in a magazine. And why don't you write me an article about this? And then next thing I know, I'm doing a collab with Jared Smith about our book, Fishing Trails 2.
Right.
And next thing you know, I was in this industry and started making some money without even really trying to pursue this industry. So find your passion and pursue it, and maybe some money will follow.
Yeah, no, I like it. There's a lot of advice out there to scratch your own itch, because if there's something in the world that you like and you're passionate about, you can be pretty sure that there's a lot of other people that are passionate and like the same thing. So scratch your own itch and you'll be committed for life. That's great.
I like that, man. Scratch your own itch.
I love it. Do you have any daily routines you have to keep your sanity or health? You meditate? I probably exercise a lot.
Oh man, daily routines. I exercise not as much as I should.
None of us do.
I try to stay active and do that. But I think I pray every day.
Mm-hmm.
Just being in contact with God and stuff, and that's something I do every day. Yeah. Other than that, no, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah. All right. How about books? Do you read a lot? Do you have any favorite books, or do you give books as gifts? Obviously, Fishing Trails 2 is probably that's a great gift if someone's coming fishing in the Sierra. Yeah.
That's the best gift to give right there, man.
Yeah. Any others that you read? Anything you've been reading lately?
I read the Bible a lot.
Yeah.
I also read. I love autobiographies. Learning about people's lives, like Yvon Chouinard, the guy from Patagonia, who's also a phenomenal, passionate guy about fly fishing and surfing, and
big time.
Pete Carroll, read his autobiography and stuff like that. So I love learning about history too. I read history books. The whole Killing series by Bill O'Reilly, Killing Jesus, Killing Kennedy, Killing Lincoln, Killing Patton, just learning the history of that kind of stuff was pretty interesting.
Cool.
And yeah, nowadays, you don't meet too many guys my age that are readers.
Yeah, it's funny. It's I'm always surprised by that, because it seems like everybody on the podcast that I've interviewed, and it's a wide range of ages, people always seem to read something. Those of us, I think, that like to learn. If you want to learn something, you probably you got to read. You can look on YouTube and you can watch videos and podcasts and all those things, but at some point too, you've also got to read. And I think a lot of folks read. So.
Heck yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we'll link to those books in the show notes as well. Do you have a favorite outdoor gear purchase under $100? You're outside all the time.
Man. Oh, that's a tough one right there. Under $100.
Yeah.
I think I would say the face buffs I wear.
I knew you were going to say that. That's awesome. That's a great. Yep. Nobody has mentioned that yet. That's a great tool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just sunscreen works a little bit,
Yeah. But
when you're on the water every day, all day, and you get that reflective UV light coming off the water, man, my face would just fry. So, those things, they're made by Blackstrap, the company I wear, Blackstrap face buffs, and total game changer, man. So
that's a good one.
That would be my item.
Yeah, that's a good one. And do you have anything else you want to say to our audience or ask of our audience before we wrap up?
No, man. This was great, though. It was great chatting with you. Thank you for the opportunity, Rick. And it's great developing these friendships.
Yeah, it's been fun.
The industry.
Yep. We got to get out and fish again.
This season, man, it's coming.
It's coming. That's right. Weeks. It's right around the corner. That's right. And how can people get hold of you if they want to follow up, ask questions, or?
There's so many gosh damn ways to contact me.
Okay.
It's becoming annoying. But I would say just look me up Instagram and DM me or shoot me a comment, and that'd probably be the best way.
All right,
just
cool.
Seth.Blackamore. On Instagram.
Awesome. Well, we'll link to that in the show notes. Well, Seth, thanks for the time. It's been great chatting with you.
You too, Rick. Have a good day, man.
You too, bud. Take it easy. All right. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Seth Blackamore. You can catch up with Seth on Instagram at Seth.Blackamore. Blackamore is Blackamore. You can find links to everything we discussed in the show notes at theoutdoorbizpodcast.com/episode 95. Be sure to hit your favorite podcast app and subscribe today. Thanks for listening. Today's podcast is brought to you by WordPress. I've used WordPress to build a number of websites, including Stillwater's Consulting and the Outdoor Biz Podcast. There are a number of themes and plugins available both free and for purchase, enabling you to easily create the custom look and feel you want. If you're starting an online business, publishing a blog, and looking to take your online presence to the next level, visit theoutdoorbizpodcast.com/WordPress and get going today. With simple installation tools and thousands of themes to choose from, you'll be up and running in no time. Go to theoutdoorbizpodcast.com/WordPress and get your site launched today. If you want more of the Outdoor Biz Podcast, you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure and go to theoutdoorbizpodcast.com where you'll find all the episodes, show notes, and much, much more. Thanks for listening, and until next time, be sure and make time to get outside.